Our daily Bible reading today comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 5 through chapter 8. And our daily devotional today here at Carrollton Christian Fellowship comes from the beginning portion of Ecclesiastes chapter 5. And what we see in Ecclesiastes chapter 5 is that the king here is pointing out the proper worship. So what our proper worship is and what our approach to corporate worship is, we see in verses 1 through 3. So the king here is pointing out the necessity and the properness to advancing in corporate worship. So worshiping with one another. So the king, in all the wisdom that the Lord had given him, the king had noticed and realized that the Lord made us to fellowship with one another. The Lord made us to fellowship with one another and to share all that God had done and all that God has given to each and every one of us. That we will come together and that we'll grow together and that we will worship the Lord together and that we'll encourage one another. And that there is ministry to be done when we come together, that we minister to one another. We encourage one another so that each one of us may go out by the encouragement and the strengthening we have from the other, go out and face whatever we have tomorrow. And so with this, it's not if, but it's when. So the king here does not state if we come together and we fellowship together in person, but it's when. We are expected to worship and fellowship together. The church needs to do that. The church needs to be strengthened. If you're not coming together to worship in person with what's coming with the world, each one of us go through difficult times. Each one of us go through good times. Each one of us have different times. And that's actually what our Devo tomorrow is going to be on. But each one of us go through these times. And what the king here is pointing out is that it's important that we do so that we are not the first to be picked off. Because that's what happens. The individual who does not come together for corporate worship, to come together and to encourage one another in how great the Lord is, of what the Lord has overcome in their life throughout the week and what the Lord has done in their life throughout the week. If we are not fellowshipping and talking about the things of the Lord, we will be picked off. We will be picked off. The worries, the cares, the confusion, the panic of this world will pick us off. We must come together. It's not if, it's when. It's when we come together. Verses 4 through 5. The king here points out that we are to keep our commitment to the Lord. We're to keep our commitment to the Lord. We're to continue on with the Lord, continue on in the life that we've committed to the Lord. As Christians, each one of us have placed a commitment and given our lives and committed our lives to the Lord, given our lives for the Lord's service. And so the king here is pointing out that, hey, you've committed to the Lord. You've committed your life. Now don't take it back. Don't take it back. Because that's not what it means to be a Christian. That's not what it means to be a follower of the Lord. To be a follower of the Lord is to commit your life to Him because you have accepted His ways are better than your ways. Go back to when you first made that choice and first made and accepted Jesus as the Lord of your life. Why did you do that? You did that because you acknowledge that you are at the end, that everything you've done, that you doing it in your strength, in your way, it doesn't get you anywhere. But it's all about His way. And so don't take it back. Don't take back what you've committed to the Lord. Don't take your life back now that you've committed your life to the Lord. And so Paul would say it this way: do not grow weary. Stand fast. As Paul encouraged all of the churches that he wrote to, stand fast. Don't grow weary. Don't be overtaken. Don't be consumed. Don't be distracted. And so the same thing for us. Don't grow weary. Don't be overtaken. Stand fast in our commitment that we have committed our lives to the Lord because He has committed everything for us. And so trust Him. Trust Him in what He has committed towards us and to us. And that's what the king here points out in verses 6 through 7. That we fear, that we trust, that we respect. We respect and we understand and we trust that the Lord's strength, the Lord's commitment to us is never ending. The Lord will not stop committing to us. The Lord will not stop working in us. The Lord will not stop working in us and developing us into who He desires and who He knows that we can become with Him and by Him in His strength. But the Lord is never going to force Himself. And so because of that, we should trust. Stand fast in trusting the Lord. Don't take your life back from Him. Because when you take your life back and you tell the Lord, don't work on this, He's not going to. He's not going to continue working in your life if you tell Him you don't want to. And so I hope this will be an encouragement to each one of us. I hope this will be an encouragement that as we're going along, as the days that we're living in, as the difficulties are mounting right now, going throughout the summer, as these difficulties are growing in this season and in this year that we find ourselves, lean into the Lord. Don't shrink back from the commitment that you have given to the Lord. But if you found yourself that you have been pulling back on that commitment, then guess what? Just give it right back to Him. Just give it to Him. And then go in fellowship with like-minded Christians who have done the same. Go in fellowship with other Christians who also are saying, you know what? I don't want to take my life back from the Lord. I don't want my Christian life to just be a social club. I don't want my Christian life just to be, me going or me not going, me staying at home, whatever it may be. I want my Christian walk to be about just celebrating what the Lord has done and talking with others and hearing of the great and awesome and mighty things that the Lord has done in each one of the believers' lives around me. Because the Lord has done such amazing and awesome things in our lives, each one of our lives. And so we should be sharing that. Not shrinking back, not taking back those things and those blessings, all spiritual blessings that the Lord has given to us, as Paul writes to the Ephesians, that He has given to us all spiritual blessings so that the church can be equipped and built up through all these spiritual blessings, because He has given to each individual based upon what He knows they need and based upon what we can all collectively work and grow together and encourage one another in. So I hope this will be, again, an encouragement for you. And I hope this will be an encouragement for you to go and to spend time and to fellowship with other believers. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Have a blessed one.